Okay, Frosty, how would you like to do this? Do you want to start by like me giving my opening argument,
Oh.
and then you giving your opening argument?
Now recording.
How do you usually do it?
Ara, PoundTown, you stupid baka.
I don't really do premises anymore. I just start scaling. Whoever wants to go first.
You don't do premises. Okay, so when you say that, it already tells me you don't know what a premise is, but we'll continue.
Do I not know
I'll just start by saying, or you could start by saying why you think your character beats my character. Like, do your scaling, right? Like, you're just gonna scale your character above mine, right?
Yeah, that's why I said I don't think I need a premise. It's just me going to prove my character over here.
Okay. Go ahead. You can scale the Raikage. I don't have any scaling on deck for Jiraiya right now, so I think it'd be better.
Scaling on deck or scans on deck?
Well, the scans support your scaling. So can you just like explain your scaling and then provide your scans?
That's not what I said. It doesn't matter. Check scan. That's on my scan.
Okay. Wait, how do I? Oh, okay. Now I can send it.
PoundTown.
Oh, okay. One of these.
PoundTown.
So fourth Raikage above KC Naruto, Sejima Naruto, Sejima Jiraiya. Okay. So real quick, I'll humor this. So why is KCM? Is it speed?
Yeah.
Or this is just like totality of ability, like just everything.
Mostly speed.
Mostly speed? Okay. So, why is Sejima Naruto faster than Sejima Jiraiya?
Better feeds.
Such as?
Oni's just
I'm
stated
genuinely
to
not
surpass
aware. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, Oni's just stated to surpass and it performs better against greater pains. While Jiraiya's going to react to by the weaker ones.
So, Naruto is stated to surpass Jiraiya in stage mode?
Yeah.
Okay. Wouldn't it make more sense for him to be talking about the fact that Naruto gets a perfected form of stage mode while Jiraiya only has a limited form?
No. Because the person who says the statement is Pa. And he already says earlier, like when Naruto's not even done with his training, that Naruto surpassed Jiraiya when it comes like to pure sage mode. So I'm restating it again. I don't know why the fuck you do that.
Well, who's stating it?
I said Pa. The frog.
So Pa states it once?
Pa states it in like 419, and then the feat where he says that he surpassed Jiraiya after he like kills the Ashura path. That's in like 430. So if he's already confirmed, no. The second one is he surpassed Jiraiya, and you're saying that one might just be in reference to.
Can you just send both scans so we can?
Yeah, sure.
I'll get it.
Dude, I'm fucking confused on what you're trying to argue. I don't think you're really wording it very well.
I'll just repeat it in a second.
Hopefully not as poorly worded as before.
Sure. Anyways.
I found it. Alright.
You have both, or do you just have the second
I got both.
Oh, you sent both. Okay. So I repeat it again. I don't know how poorly worded it. Maybe just didn't understand. But the first statement.
Is this in debating or scans?
Oh my debating.
God. Here, let me just copy these.
Scans, but...
Let me copy these. Can you just copy all? Is that thing? Yeah, you can. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, hold up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Naruto Boy has surpassed his predecessors. Okay, so when was the same scan? Okay, so the one with like the rocks and shit. Okay. He's displaying the ring around his eyes, proof of successful sagehood. No frog aspects either. This might mean Naruto Boy has become a sage exceeding Jiraiya. Okay, so he says might because of these qualities, right, that I'm talking about. He says because of these qualities, such as perfect sage mode, no displaying like frog features, that he is now he might have surpassed Jiraiya. Okay, and then he confirms. He says, "Indeed, Naruto Boy has surpassed his predecessors. So I think that's just like a chronology of his like self confirmation about Naruto's progression. I don't think that shows that
Wait.
one statement supersedes the other. Go ahead. I'm done.
Okay. Yeah. So one, I think that Eli's translation, which he sent, it doesn't say the word might. It says that he has. I also think that the word just he has surpassed. That makes more sense because obviously if Naruto doesn't or isn't turning into a fucking frog, he obviously has better sage mode than Jiraiya
Well, which
because he would
one's the
have to
official
have.
translation?
There's by official translation. Do you mean Viz or do you mean which one is the better one?
Well, who are you to say which one's better? I think it's much more likely that we use the one that's made by salaried, paid workers
They've been.
that
I don't think
are
women said they've
qualified
been wrong
for the
before.
job of translator. I'm pretty sure they would be more qualified to tell me what a Japanese thing means in English than some random motherfucker on the internet.
Okay, yeah, I get. If you look at it like face value at a base level, yeah, I agree with you. But Viz has been proven wrong multiple times by actual Japanese speakers and just any fucking translator you use. So I don't think that whole they're paid to translate shit fucking matters. So they've been wrong a lot.
Proven wrong is so relative because for all I know, because you're just some random dude telling me that. For all I know,
You want me to show you some
you
instances
just
where
think
it's wrong?
some random motherfuckers got beat by that. Like what?
No, I just mean no.
And-
I mean an
also,
actual
just
Japanese
because-
speaker speaks up and says Viz has translated this wrong. This is the actual translation. You want that?
Sure, yeah, go ahead. And
Who's
you
gonna
need
be
to
scared?
tell me why they are
They
more
always
valid.
explain.
Because you're
they always
appealing. You're appealing
Wow.
to the authority of this person, right? So you now need to tell me why this authority could stack up, or in your case, be greater than the authority of people who are professionally trained to do this and do it for a living and are on salary and have a team of editors
I still don't know
to
why you keep
advise
saying
them.
that.
Because
I genuinely
that's
don't know why you keep saying that.
integral to my argument. Why would I not repeat the main basis for my argument on a point?
Because the relevancy of the fucking they get paid to do this shit doesn't matter. Doesn't mean they can't be wrong.
Well,
They're
it definitely
infallible.
okay. Well, it definitely does because when you're paid to do something, you have number one, you had to get that position in the first place, so you had to be qualified for that position. So you had to have knowledge over the subject matter, i.e., translation.
We
of
genuinely
Japanese
don't
and
know the
English.
qualifications. It could just be no basic Japanese. We don't know. So they're getting paid
What?
for it doesn't mean that the qualifications are hard to fill the position.
Well, the qualifications would at least have to be being able to understand both languages to be a translator.
Yeah, that's fine, but
And
just because you're a translator doesn't mean that you're right.
okay, so what you're essentially telling me is that a company who is based around
I am telling you that a translator can
writing.
be wrong.
Hold
That's
up.
all I'm saying.
I get that. There's nothing. I've never said anything in this entire conversation about a translator having the potential to be wrong.
You're saying they don't have the potential to be wrong?
I said a translator. I'll say it right
So you've
now. I'll
never
just
said
clarify.
anything about a translator having the
A
potential to be wrong.
translator can absolutely be wrong at certain times.
Uh-huh.
However, you would have to prove that by in a case by case basis, okay? Because if they're a translator, they obviously are qualified for that position. Okay, if they're doing this for a huge company like Viz, because those kinds of companies have somewhat rigorous requirements, or
we don't know
what's
that.
the word? You don't think like companies like that usually just have at least like some form? It's just for their own self-interest.
What? I was listening.
Well,
I was reading something.
So let's say you have a big company, right?
Uh-huh.
And their sales or the integrity of their product could be compromised by somebody being bad at their job. Okay? And the integrity of their product obviously has a lot to do with their sales, etc. So it would be in their own self-interest to hire qualified employees, right?
Well, there's still no. When I'm saying like Viz is wrong, I don't mean like the translation's completely different or they can't like translate at all, which is kind of how you're saying they're still somewhat qualified. But I'm saying the difference between like because if you just look at the statements, the difference between he might have surpassed Jiraiya or he has surpassed Jiraiya aren't that different. They're still translated similarly, but when you add in like a different word, it can change the meaning of it. So when you keep repeating
so
that, they have to be qualified. Personally, I don't disagree with that.
I get that you think that was a point, but what you essentially just did was you said, okay, well, because the words could maybe be same, it's one or the other. Well, we already think it's one or the other. That's why we're having this discussion. But what I'm saying is, on my side, we have people who are qualified for the job. We know they're qualified. We know that they are in this position for a reason. There's okay, and your response was, well, we're in this interpretation versus interpretation. You just restated just the conversation we're having. That is not a refutation to any of what I said.
I'm just telling you, Viz, people. I don't. The fucking point that you keep saying with their qualified shit. That's cool. But so they don't have to be infallible, which is what I'm saying. They've been proven wrong.
Cool. Do you want to conclude on that point, and we can just leave it up to a judge, or we can leave it up to? I mean, we have the recording.
Can I? Sure. Can you respond to the other argument I made? Because I don't know.
What was the other argument?
I said that I think that the translation that he has surpassed Jiraiya instead of he might makes more sense because him having no facial features of a frog automatically means that he has better nature control than Jiraiya, who can't manipulate nature energy by himself. So the statement that he might have surpassed Jiraiya doesn't really make sense when it's pretty obvious that he has.
Well, okay. Yeah. So he definitely says might. I think that just implication there.
Are you still basing that off the translation? Like the point that we had earlier?
Well, we're saying, okay, if you want to talk about this and you think this is integral on whether or not whose interpretation is right, then we need to conclude on that previous point. If that's what you're trying to say right now.
But what is the previous point? You're saying these people have some credibility.
That was the point I wanted to conclude on. So, do you want to go ahead and go first, or do you want me to? Well, obviously, we just almost moved on to a different point. I think it's important to restate them before we go on. We're also appealing to a judge. So whoever's our judge. Who is our judge? Isn't it? Fuck. Bro, somebody in here definitely said they were a judge of this debate. Didn't you, Adam?
I don't remember. Tyro?
Milky.
Say yes.
Milky. Milky, are you in here?
Where was Milky?
Wait, this is all a rabbit hole I don't care about. But I do want to conclude on this point. So after this point, I don't care who wins this point. We just like, I'm gonna give you speed regardless.
Okay. So what else is there?
So yeah, we can just leave that since the judge is in here. We can just leave that up to the recording or whatever, or whoever thought won that point. I don't think it matters. I will just give you speed though. I forgot. Yeah, I'll just give you speed. So.
Sure.
So if the Raikage is so fast, like what does it matter? Like, what is he gonna do to Jiraiya now?
Run up on Jiraiya and pummel him.
He needs to just punch him.
Yeah.
So what if Jiraiya just fucking uses his frog song?
Is he fast enough to activate it?
I would say, do you think the Raikage would initiate an attack before Jiraiya is able to get the frog song off? I think Jiraiya would use the frog song immediately.
I think that I don't think that. I don't know. Are we arguing in character? Or are we like controlling our character?
Yes, we're definitely arguing in character.
Well, in character, why would you just pop rocks on?
Because he knows that he has no chance in terms of speed with the Raikage. He would literally would know
Is
that.
Jiraiya met the Raikage?
No, but Jiraiya is definitely somebody within the story we know who's very knowledgeable on the Naruto world at large, and it would, number one, his student met Raikage, so we can definitely conclude that if he knows how fast Minato is, he would have an accurate gauge as to how fast the Raikage is.
The Jiraiya was dead when Naruto met fucking Raikage. Also,
No, I
him
said
knowing, I don't know if
Minato.
he knows Minato.
Minato, my brother.
What about Minato?
Minato meets the Raikage years ago. You're not thinking the entire time after that?
What does that have to do with Jiraiya? And also, that's a
Because
weaker
Minato is
Raikage
Jiraiya's
thing.
student, and they obviously talk. Also, the Raikage is just a. Well, I don't want to shock you. Actually, you can respond to that. Sorry.
I said all I asked was just what does that have to do with Jiraiya? And then I said that Raikage got faster, so I don't really care.
Yeah, so Raikage is hailed now to be as fast as Minato. So what I'm saying is, number one, Jiraiya. You said, does Jiraiya know the Raikage? I said no, but I said Jiraiya knows of him because he's obviously spoken to Minato.
Why is that specific Raikage above Jiraiya in speed?
Oh well, that wouldn't matter. That was just proving that to say he knows of the Raikage. And he's also just a traveling guy. He probably knows the main figureheads of the Naruto verse who are hailed to be this fast and the relative to the Yellow Flash.
Yeah, he can know he exists. I don't really care. You were saying that he should know his speed and should think he's inferior, so he'd automatically pop rocks on.
So what I'm saying is, if Raikage knows, or sorry, if Jiraiya knows about the Raikage and knows him to be hailed for his speed and to have had speed somewhat, he had some kind of a speed encounter with Minato, then we could definitely induce that Jiraiya would know that the Raikage is faster than him to a large amount.
I don't see how those fucking arguments lead to that conclusion at all.
Because Minato is faster. Well, I'll tell you where it links. It's Minato. Minato's faster.
Why is
than
that
Jiraiya.
Minato faster than Jiraiya?
Well,
To the
Minato's
point
faster
that
than
he
Jiraiya.
thinks he's
You don't
so
think
much
you don't think Minato is faster than Jiraiya?
Jonin Minato? No, I don't see the basis for that.
My brother, he's light speed in that.
So he's light speed?
Yes.
I don't know. We're bringing in crossverse, but I don't know about that.
Well, that's no, that's not crossverse. That's just me attributing his speed, or me quantifying. Sorry, me quantifying his speed.
Is Jiraiya ever shown slower than light speed? Or are you saying
I don't know.
Jiraiya
Is he
doesn't
ever
have
shown
speed
faster than Minato?
I don't. I just said.
I mean, Minato's the fastest motherfucker in the series. I feel like it's kind of disingenuous to be like,
I
Jiraiya is actually faster. Motherfucker, let's be real.
I don't disagree with that claim when it comes to adult Minato, but you're talking about Jonin from the Third War. I'm asking why that specific Minato was what you're trying to argue for is above Jiraiya. And I'm also asking you to quantify the difference because you're saying.
Well, do you think the fourth
Minato's
Raikage?
above
Do you think the
Jiraiya
fourth
to the
Raikage is light
point
speed?
where. Wow.
Do you think the fourth Raikage is relative or near light speed?
No.
What? You don't? Not in that moment
Okay.
with Minato. I'm talking about in the current
I don't
fourth Raikage.
think any characters are light speed. Or not.
Not a single one.
No. Clarify that. Not that early. No. Boruto
That
maybe.
early. Okay, well, I hate to burst your bubble, but that Raikage is stated to be near light speed. So he's at least
Mistranslation.
ballpark.
It's just a mistranslation.
How is that a mistranslation?
The statement that says near light speed is a mistranslation. It actually says Raikage moves at a speed like light, and like light does not mean that you are near light speed.
Wait, isn't that an official one, or am I tripping? Is that not from
No,
the
the
third
fourth
one?
data book is fan translated. Third data book's only official translated one. I can see in the panel.
Okay, yeah. Send me. I didn't know about this. Send me the officially translated one.
There is no officially translated one.
Oh, okay, sorry. So Why is your
The scan you're trying to
okay?
use, which is the fourth data book, is fan translated.
So can you prove why it's a mistranslation then? Why it's like light
I'll
instead, or why it would even matter?
get you the sentence. Yeah. Why would it even matter? It would matter because moving at a speed like light is not. I think you just know how it. I forgot the fucking word for it. It's just like saying he hits like a truck. You're not literally saying that guy is hitting as hard as a fucking semi truck. You just mean like he's hitting really hard. I forgot the fucking description for it.
Are you
Like
talking
what
about
it's called.
simile?
A simile.
The simile, yeah, that.
Okay,
Saying
so
he moves like light is not the
okay,
same
yeah,
as
okay.
hitting light
The
speed.
word like is characteristic of a simile in English, but why is like characteristic of a simile in Japanese? If
Huh?
the kanji directly translates to like, that would mean it would be the same in Japan. So can you explain to me why that kanji would be be a characteristic of a simile in Japanese?
I don't understand the question you're asking.
Okay, so
You're saying that the word
the
like over there is different than how we
no,
use
okay,
it?
so the data book is written in Japanese. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Huh?
Japan could very well have different notions of what a simile is. Do they even like have a word for simile? Is that a thing in Japan? Like when right
Yeah.
or like okay, can you prove that?
Sure.
Okay.
Just the word or what a simile is.
Like yeah.
I asked the question. You said, yeah. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, what'd you ask? I was reading.
I said, do you want to see if the word simile exists in Japan, or do you just mean like if like is a simile over in Japan too?
No, like okay, yeah. If can you explain to me why the word like it characterizes simile in Japan?
You're still just repeating. I don't understand that. I don't know what you're asking. You just repeated it. I
Okay.
don't.
So in Japan they have a simile. They have a criteria for simile just like we do, right?
Yes.
Can you prove it's the
They have
same?
exaggerated words, or like, yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, but I don't know if a
I think
simile is
every
exactly that because it's an exaggeration that is characterized by the use of the word like or as.
yes, you're moving at a speed like light. I don't think you have to.
But
I
what
don't
I'm
think
asking
the
you is
word like. I
when
don't. You're like losing
Kishimoto
all that.
or when Kishimoto writes that data book and he says moves like light in Japanese, is like light, is that like is he meaning a synonym by that or does he actually mean as fast as lightning? Because in Japanese he very well could be meaning either. So I just want because if we're gonna play the language game, I want to know if this is right because I don't know Japanese, and you obviously know more than me, or not because
I,
you can't tell me.
I generally don't know how to fucking get that for you.
Okay, well then I guess we can't
You want
really
a
play this language game.
no?
I'll
It'll
just
just
give
be
you.
the
I'll just
even
give
if we
you
don't
the.
play the language game, it'll just be my
I'll
translation versus yours. It's both fan translation. It
okay.
doesn't still
Yeah,
get us anywhere, so it doesn't
yeah,
matter. But
yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like if we're gonna go down the language game route, and you can't. I mean, you can't win in it, but I mean, I
but
can.
I just don't. I think it's just pretty obvious. I think it's a dumb point. I don't know. I don't. That's too much of a specific search to fucking find that shit for you. I know it exists.
Well,
I just don't advocate that for you. That's a weird question to bring up.
okay. So do you? I mean, do you want to conclude on what translation is
It
valid?
doesn't. It doesn't matter either way. 'Cause we just go down to both our translations just being by a fan. That's
What do you want to conclude on that?
what you.
I thought your interpretation had
That's
that.
it. That's it.
So,
What you want to do. Yeah.
okay. Okay. Yeah, we can.
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Again, it's just a small point. It's just my translation says one thing, his says the other. We don't. They're just both fan translations. You can't prove Raikage's light speed. That's it.
Okay, so I brought up the Raikage's light speed um, statement, and his response is basically bringing us into well, what translation is valid, his versus mine. He uses the word like to say that this is an exaggeration or simile. I asked him, well, why is like in the Japanese language a characteristic of a Japanese simile? And obviously Japan has different language what's the word, language consistencies, or like, figurative kind of stuff than English, because it's it's a different language. It can't be one to one. He literally told me flat out, or told everybody flat out, I can't provide you with that. I don't know. So my question is, if you're trying to be like the arbiter of like what the fuck, like what it means, how can you not even answer that? That seems like a pretty fundamental thing that you should know if you're trying to argue that. So if it really comes down to that, then if he can't prove that it's a simile or exaggerative, both of the translations say basically the same thing. So even in his own translation where it says like, if he can't prove it's a simile, then the default would be that it's a literal. So we would just assume that it's a literal statement. So I think if it's a literal statement, then he's light speed. That's my conclusion.
Yeah, so that's my interpretation ratio.
Yeah. So
is that a?
Yeah. So here, let me get you now, because that was just kind of supplementary to what my main point is. Minato is light speed in the past when he fights the Raikage, and then he's light speed later on. Or Raikage is light speed later on by virtue of that, because he's stated to have surpassed, or correct me if I'm wrong, it was surpassed or was like the same speed as Minato.
Talking about the databook symbol?
No. Wait, is that a databook statement? I don't know.
That he's equal to Minato?
Yeah.
It's stated by C in the manga that he has like his neural like transmitters fire as fast as Minato's, and then the databook it says that he's as fast as Yellow Flash. Talking about that?
Yeah. Okay. So he is. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So he's light speed. So Raikage is light speed.
Back then? No, I think the argument I said earlier
No,
still
not
applies.
back then. Are you not following what I'm saying? I'm saying now. You just told me current Raikage is light, or is as fast as Minato. I said, okay, well then he's light speed.
Bro, we're arguing about in the third war. I repeat this. You
Yes,
might have
absolutely. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
okay.
And
So I'm asking
so,
about the third war, dude.
yeah,
Your
yeah.
argument was that
I'll
since
and
Minato and the
my
Raikage, can I hush? You were saying that the Raikage's light speed back then because of this databook statement, and Jiraiya isn't light speed, so Jiraiya would feel so inferior to the Raikage that he would
yes,
instantly
I
pop
know. I'm
Frog
sorry.
Song.
I didn't
Okay,
send
yeah,
the
yeah.
I didn't send the calc. I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay, here you go. Here you go. We'll do it in scans. And then I'll give you the fucking, is this the scan? Sorry, I'm baked. Here you go.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Cal, so I'm not gonna.
Okay.
This doesn't matter because you don't
You
have a
don't
reason for Jiraiya being slower than Raikage. You're just saying this guy's light speed feats Jiraiya doesn't.
Well, okay. I'm saying. Do you want me to now link this back to my main argument?
That Minato's over Jiraiya?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. So originally, well, that's not necessarily my main argument. That's honestly a sub point that we were talking about. But essentially, my main argument was that since Jiraiya knows of Minato's speed, and he knows that the Raikage, based on what I've already provided about, I just want to remind everybody, Jiraiya's knowledge about the world, obviously the Raikage being a main figurehead, his connection to Minato, none of this was refuted or attacked, and so he knows all this. He has this knowledge in the world, and he knows how fast the Raikage is. Okay, and he knows he's faster than him because Minato's faster than him. Okay, you see how that's connecting? Okay, so that's connected now. So he knows how fast Minato is. he knows Raikage is as fast as Minato. Now he knows he's faster than him. Okay, he would be able to induce that to some degree based on his knowledge of the world. So
You keep adding in shit
if
that we just didn't agree to at all.
well, like what? Because all that stuff was uncontested.
You're still really not answering my question. Kind of like going around up.
Well, you just
Can
asked me
I
to.
repeat what
You just
what?
wanted me to link back, bro.
What?
Fix look at us. Yeah, Milky, shut up. Milky, don't let your bias influence you, man. So,
Yeah.
what's uncontested, or what have you? What did you want to attack?
I'm gonna just repeat while we're still on this point. If you
No,
don't understand,
no.
we
You
can
said
move on.
you said I said a bunch of stuff that you
That
never
we just didn't agree
got to
to. That's
attack.
what I said.
Okay, then can you
Yeah,
attack? Can you attack those
yeah.
points?
I was trying to explain that.
Did you never even addressed them? Go ahead.
No, I think I.
Or just tell me
Yeah.
what points so then I know, and then explain.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just telling you why your argument doesn't follow, and I'm gonna tell you what you just asked me. Okay. You were trying to prove that Jiraiya knows Raikage's speed, and he feels that he is so inferior to him that he's gonna automatically pop Frog's on. But your
Yes.
basis for this, which I was telling you earlier, these arguments do not lead to that conclusion, right? You were saying that because one, you keep saying that the Raikage was a match for Minato, but that's not true. He got Blitz right here, and you're saying he's also hailed as fast. That's also fine, but that does
No, he's
not
being
lead to
hailed as
Jiraiya
the
think that
same.
it's.
He's being
Dude.
hold up. No, he's being hailed as the same speed as Minato, which you yourself agreed to. You literally gave me the evidence for it, bro.
I am talking
told
about
me
in
the
the
evidence.
third. I am talking about in the third war.
I don't care about the third war. The third war is just to
That
prove
is
that
literally
Minato is
what
light speed.
you're.
I'm not saying they're
That's literally
relative.
what you're arguing.
Well, then you don't understand my argument because I never said that. I never said that third war
No.
Minato is relative to third war Raikage. I said current Raikage is relative to at least third war Minato because he's hailed to be as fast
Okay.
as Minato. So we don't know what Minato they're talking about. We could assume it's probably his most recent self post death. But just to be charitable, we'll say Jonin Minato for your sake.
Yeah, PoundTown, if you let me finish real quick, you'd understand what I'm trying to say. The reason that is fine, you can be saying that the Raikage is equal to the Minato, so you'd be light speed, blah, 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 currently. But your argument was that Jiraiya knows Raikage because of the third war. So we would have to be arguing about third war. Jiraiya is dead when current Raikage is equal to Minato.
Okay, so you didn't listen to what I said. I said that could be. I said originally no. Originally I said because you asked me how Jiraiya would know about the Raikage.
Yes, and then you told me
And
that Minato and him worked together so they could have relayed information. But that was in the third war.
Okay, so what I said was Minato is Jiraiya's student. So obviously Minato and Jiraiya talk about things, okay? And Jiraiya is somebody who obviously likes to get information. He likes to talk about things like that. He would probably know about Raikage from that. But then I said, well, and even if you don't like that kind of argument where we're just talking about maybe what a character might do, because it's a little bit like it could go into the headcanon route. I gave you the evidence of Jiraiya is a traveled individual. Obviously, he's going to know about a character who is like a main figurehead in the story. It's one of the Kage.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, dude, this one. I don't think you understand like the burden. I'm not at like one. Okay, let me respond to that real quick. One, the only traveling he's been doing is looking for Orochimaru. I don't know why you keep acting like he's traveling around to every village and like just doing other shit. Like, he's only been traveling.
Doesn't
Orochimaru
have places in every village? Doesn't Orochimaru doesn't Orochimaru literally have like crazy labs and like bumfuck nowhere? Like you don't think that helps my point? You don't think that if Orochimaru is going to like every which village in every part of the globe,
I've never seen Orochimaru do that.
Bro, doesn't Orochimaru have a fucking like lab in like literally everywhere? I swear to God.
He has a lab in Konoha where he was experimenting with little kids. I don't
Maru labs. Like, bro, they'll be walking through some canyon in bumfuck nowhere and they find it, bro.
Okay, and then I forgot the second. I was gonna say no, bro. Keep getting cut off.
Well, I wanted to address that point because that was a sub point for your argument. Okay. Fuck me for responding to you, brother.
I'm not saying you couldn't respond. I'm saying you made 2 points. I was trying to respond to the 2 points, but you cut me off on the first one to respond to.
Well, you said I cut you off, and then you just said, "Well, it's fine for you to respond." So which is it?
Yeah, fine to respond after. I'm not saying you can't respond, but I meant after I was done.
Okay. Well, obviously this one leads into the next one, right?
Well, now I don't remember the next one because you cut me off.
Maybe you should keep track
Can
of
you
your
repeat
arguments.
Can you repeat the second point you said?
The second point of him being
So
like a
Jiraiya
traveled
travels
guy.
around a lot. Oh, my bad. I remember. Okay. And no, it doesn't.
Well, those
lead to
aren't
the second
separate.
point.
Those aren't separate. Those are together.
No. I'm saying my points are separate. Yeah. Okay. I was trying to say that I don't think you understand the burden I'm trying to ask you for. You keep like proving that Jiraiya should like know with Raikage's existence, but I'm asking you, can you prove that he knows his speed and then knows that he's a tier below him, and then knows that I cannot keep up with this guy, so I'm a pop frog song instantly? Because that's the exact argument.
Yeah. I would just say that through knowing that the Raikage is he's hailed for his speed, I think it'd be likely that Jiraiya would induce that, okay, I'm probably not as fast as this guy. Probably. So I should now default, because this is all going back to him using Frog Song immediately. So he would say, if I'm no match in speed, and this is in his head, I should probably default to my ability that does not have any bearing on speed. You could be fast, it gets you.
Okay, so again, it's just the argument's not leading to the conclusion. So he can be held as fast. It's not Jiraiya has to instantly think, "Oh, I'm slower than this guy" because he's held as fast. That's just stupid. And also, he has to like prep for this. Like, no, I just think he like. Can you go look back at the scene where he pops Frog Song for the first time?
Well, I just think that's like how you think Jiraiya would, because you're so used to arguing with where you just plug the fucking you're the character. But I'm using actual character evidence, like how they would think.
No, you don't know how Jiraiya would think. You've never seen him in a situation like that before. You're assuming that he would do that off a really bad basis.
But we can gather evidence of how their characters displayed in the series, and then go off that. And we know Jiraiya is a very tactical fighter. He would think about things like this.
And that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. But I'm saying the level of basis you need to assume that I'm a tier below this character. Let me use a genjutsu.
Well, I don't know.
I can't keep up with them. It's not the same as I'm a tactical fighter. Let me do this shit. Because
I don't know why you're using
my scaling was to get Kage tier by Raikage and speed. I think he blitzed him.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't care about tiers. The character himself doesn't care about tiers. He just thinks, oh, this character is very fast. I'm probably going to need something
very fast, and I can't keep up with him,
that gap,
or just a little bit faster than him.
I'm pretty sure he'd probably think he's slower, based on the fact that he knows Minato.
That's what. That's whatever. Do you want to move on?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to conclude on that?
I'm not repeating myself.
Yeah. If you think you're right, then that's fine. We can just conclude. So I think this is like integral to my argument. I don't have any scaling, bro. You think I fucking scale Jiraiya? What the fuck? I don't know that shit like that.
Okay.
Okay. So, I guess I will go ahead and give my conclusion, and then you can give yours, and then we can be done. We can leave it up to the judge, or somebody can upload the video. I don't give a fuck. So the beginning of my argument was that Jiraiya would most likely know that there is a speed gap between him and the Raikage. Okay? And the reasoning for why he would know this is because the Raikage is a figurehead in the Naruto world. He has lore around him, and his lore generally is that he is relative to the Yellow Flash. Okay? He's on par with the Yellow Flash. So if Jiraiya is a traveled individual, like I established, and he's somebody who oftentimes knows about the lore of the Naruto world, and he's been around. He's a sage. They literally call him a fucking sage. What do sages have? Knowledge on stuff. So if he's characterized as this type of individual, I think it's very obvious that he would know something like this about the Raikage, because it's literally just the Raikage and what he's known for. That's all it is. So if Jiraiya would most likely know that, and he also knows Minato and how fast he is, who is the one that the Raikage is compared to canonically, he would know relatively how much faster the Raikage is in comparison to him because he knows Minato's speed. So that defeats the part where he's like, well, he doesn't know how much faster the Raikage is than him. So he knows how fast, he knows the Raikage is faster than him, and he knows to what degree. Okay. Now he uses Frog Song because that is the only ability he has that can combat, or that's shown in the series that can combat an individual who is much faster than him, because it relies on, all they have to do is hear it and they're done. So if the Raikage, if they start the battle, okay, and the Raikage, obviously the Raikage characteristically would not enter his fastest form automatically. He didn't do that against, he didn't even do that against the person, well, okay, that doesn't matter. But essentially, if he doesn't enter his fastest form, then Jiraiya just Frog Songs, he's dead. Or he's sealed. Now, he gave no real reason for why Jiraiya wouldn't know any of these things about about his character, and he just kind of was like being a skeptic. So I don't think he did a very good job at that. So I think I won.
I don't think I have to repeat my point. Just whoever listened to the thing can get their judgment. But I think you didn't mention the fastest form show, whatever the fuck, so I'm not taking that as a point. But yeah, so